Good afternoon, fellow music lovers. Today I want to talk to you about using an app to learn an instrument. The most frequent comments that I get on my channel refer to using an app to learn an instrument versus getting a teacher. These comments range from friendly questions such as, do you recommend using an app? Or is it better to get a teacher? To just plain rude criticisms of app learning methods, such as, if you don't get a teacher, you're an idiot. You're never gonna be able to learn an instrument using an app. So I just wanted to do a quick video to set the record straight as to why I am choosing to use an app to learn piano rather than some other method. Let me start by saying that I know the best way to learn anything is to have an expert teach you. They can provide immediate feedback, correct improper habits, and generally are there to answer questions should you have them in the middle of practicing. Just the best way to do it, hands down. I'm completely on board with that. But I also know that it is not the only way to learn something. Someone at some point invented the piano. Now, it came in multiple iterations. There was the harpsichord, there were other keyboard-based instruments. But they did create the instruments, and someone had to learn it without a teacher. And throughout history, people have been able to learn things without teachers. Now, hands-on things are more difficult to learn without an expert at your side. So learning to play a sport or learning to play an instrument is more difficult without a teacher. But there have been plenty of people who have self-studied different things and been able to do it. It takes a special type of person. I like to hope that I might be one of those special types of people, and that is part of the reason that I'm doing this, because I want to find out if that's true. Plus, even if an app isn't the #1 way to learn a new instrument, telling somebody that they're stupid for trying is rather idiotic. So let's get into my specific reasoning on why I decided to use apps in order to learn the piano. First and foremost, this is an experiment. I want to answer the question, is it possible to learn how to play an instrument starting from scratch, having never played before? The naysayers out there, I know, are already furiously typing, no way, you're an idiot, into the comments section, which is fine. You're welcome to add your comments. But for me, I've never really much cared for blanket statements that don't have any evidence to back them up. Perhaps they're right, so why even bother trying to learn this way? Well, I take a mildly vindictive pride in proving people wrong. Remember, these apps haven't been around for that long. When you compare them to other types of music learning methods, they're pretty new. Most of them don't provide lessons for more advanced type learners, but the developers do seem to be working toward that goal. Plus, I have to say that even if using an app will not work to make you an expert player for 95% of people, I still want to see if I may fall in that 5% that can use the app to get there. And wouldn't it be cool to say that I'm one of the first people that did it? Of course it would. My second reason for using apps to attempt to learn to play piano is because I love to try new things. I have my motorcycle license, I've soloed in a plane, I've jumped out of an airplane with a parachute, of course. And I've traveled solo all around different parts of the world, in the US, South America, Europe, and Southeast Asia. So trying something new is sort of in my blood. This is a bit more mellow than the other things that I've mentioned, but it's still exciting to try. When you look at these different apps, they have flashy interfaces. Some of them are more like a game, while others have a more educational approach to them. And of course, they're a great, inexpensive way to experiment with a new hobby to see if you might want to take it up more seriously. Admittedly, without these apps, I probably never would have tried to learn to play the piano. Of course, if one finds that they are loving what they're doing with the app but don't feel like they're progressing very far, you can always change tack and get a piano teacher. Now, I know what some of the people in the comments are probably gonna say. You're already developing bad habits if you don't start with a teacher. And I recognize that that's true, but if you're really into it and you decide that it's worth the money and the time to invest in a professional teacher, then you're probably willing to make the effort to reverse any small bad habits that you might have picked up. The third and probably the most practical reason that I chose to start with using apps versus getting a teacher, besides the costs of a teacher, is that I travel frequently. Because I'm not in the same place for long periods of time, it might be difficult for a teacher to be able to deal with me. I might go for 3 to 6 months and be able to progress really far, and then I might have to be gone for a couple of months, not have a way to practice, come back, and have reverted back pretty far on how much I'd have to relearn. At the moment, I haven't practiced for probably a couple of months now due to having to travel for work and moving into a new apartment. So when I start back up in the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna have a lot of frustrating catching up to do. Personally, if I were a piano teacher, it would annoy me if my student wasn't able to practice consistently, kept disappearing, and had to relearn everything on a regular basis. So remember, YouTube, don't listen to the people who tell you that there's only one way to skin a cat. There may be a best method to get something done, but it doesn't mean it's the only method or only approach that you can take. There are other avenues that can get you to the same goal, and we will see if this is one of them. So I hope you will stick with me to find out. Thank you to all of you out there on YouTube who are subscribed to my channel. I know that I haven't been posted in ages. Life kind of gets hectic sometimes, you know? But I've got a brand new apartment now. I've set up this permanent recording space that I hope you guys like. I do have a couple more trips coming up, but as soon as I return, I will be back to practicing the piano regularly and posting videos so you guys can see my progress. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and please stay tuned for more.